So right now is T-1 day, I guess, of my last trip to Utah. Just kind of showing some of the things around my house. So, this Florida man is about to embark on yet again trip to Utah. This is going to be the last one of this year. The next one is going to be next year. I'm not sure how many trips I'm gonna make next year, but the target right now is still maybe 4, I think. I don't know. My mind is kind of cloudy. So, those of you that have been following me know that I have, a second Jeep Gladiator over here. There's a, however, faint probability of me taking this to Utah and taking the one in Utah here. But the thought of driving the absolutely insane distance, which would be about 5,000 miles in totality, doesn't quite sit well with me. It just seems to be like a really stupid idea, if I say so myself. I don't know. I really don't know. Have to figure that one out. So here's the, I guess, summary of where things are. So for one, this night, early tomorrow morning, I am driving from my house in Central Florida to the airport to basically fly to Grand Junction, Colorado, take my motorhome, take my Jeep, and relocate both to Moab, Utah. I have already pre-booked with a significant amount of difficulty winter storage for both of them. There's so much going on with that. It's just ridiculous. So one of the things that really have put a kibosh on a lot of things is the fact that in Moab they were supposed to have built temperature controlled storage. There is no temperature controlled storage anywhere on the eastern side of Utah at all. Like none whatsoever, right? And so what the problem is, the closest temperature controlled storage would be in Grand Junction, and winters are absolutely brutal in Grand Junction. And while I could pull the batteries and I could do, let me just grab a seat and go through all of that, I have never had to winterize my motorhome, and the thought of 12 Fahrenheit or lower temperatures, come on, darn it, don't quite sit well with me. So even though I could protect the batteries, I couldn't protect neither the Jeep nor the motorhome, and it's just like, what's going on? So Moab has much milder temperatures, and based on all the forecasting and everything like that, they're actually promising winter to be a lot warmer than it normally is, which actually plays to what I'm trying to accomplish here. Still stressful. So ultimately what I'm gonna be doing is tomorrow I'm flying across the country, grabbing the motorhome, grabbing the Jeep, and immediately heading to Moab, Utah. In Moab, Utah, I will be hiking for, I believe, 6 days. 6? Something like that. Yeah, maybe 6. mostly around Pritchett Canyon. I am doing Castleton hike. I'm also returning once more to the Jeep Arch Gold Bar area, but taking a completely different trail, all of that hunky-dory stuff. Upon conclusion of all of that, I have to winterize my Jeep and my motorhome, and yeah. So there's a day dedicated to that. I have some things that are outstanding in terms of. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering why that's messed up, that's after the hurricane. It went flying. So, I have some things that need fixing, for one. I'm also going like that's my kind of like arch nemesis of sorts. I've been hoping to go looking at the leaves in the Appalachian Mountains for like the last, I don't know, 12 years or something like that, and I still haven't accomplished that. So one of the things I'm looking forward to doing on this trip is to actually be able to go to Moab, Utah, and go specifically to La Sal's. And in La Sal's, what I'm hoping to do is just had the biggest freaking wasp crawl all over me. Is to look at the leaves. So I have right now planned 4-ish excursions. What the hell, dude? Seriously, like, look at this guy. Look at that. He just doesn't get the memo. Come on, crawl away. Stupid. Anyhow. 2 of them are going to do a fairly sizable loop through La Salle Mountains, like clockwise and counterclockwise. One is going to go to the same areas where I have been. It's captured in my vlogs. I'm still haven't got around to editing the actual videos, and I won't be able to do that for a while. Ua Lake, Warner Lake, etc. Like places like that. I think it's also called Miners Canyon or whatever it's called. Anywho, with all of that, one of the things I'm hoping to do is Onion Creek once again. That's gonna be my 4th one. I really don't like to repeat myself, but yeah. So there's a lot of that cloudiness going in the background. But technically speaking, if I was to do that, I would eventually climb into the polar mesa and eventually catch up on the, I guess, eastern side of La Salle Mountains and kind of do that. But from what ChatGPT tells me, it's really not all that spectacular once you get onto the mesa. So I think things may play out differently. That's all I'm saying. I do have some concerns. My outstanding to-do list is so long with all the things that I need done. Just like with RV and preparing and this and that and the third, right? Obviously, there's the winterization, so I'm going to have to pull every single battery, cocoon it into this whole contraption that I'll be talking about in my videos once the time comes. But what I don't I wish, I sincerely wish, and this may change next year. I don't have anything to change anything right now, so I'm not even gonna try. It would be pointless. I really wish I had my motorhome here, because there's so many things that need done, redone or modified or in some way, shape, or form, and I don't have the time. Like, here's the crazy part: the things that I'm gonna be fixing now on this trip were supposed to have been done in May on trip number 1, and this is trip number 3 we're talking about. So it's not because I'm lazy. It's just because, like, I don't have availability to fix everything. There's always something that comes up, and you have to like do like on the road repair. But it just doesn't, and that's very disappointing. Whereas, like if it was here, I'd be able to like work on it through the winter, so that come springtime I'm gonna have. But here's the problem: it takes a week for it to be driven back here, which is 2,500 miles, and it takes a week to go back the other way, which is 2,500 miles, which means that there's 2 weeks that are being sacrificed. And here's the problem: if I was to even bring the RV here to Florida, I would have to pick time when the roads are not iced over, where it's safe to drive, and all these other things. And it's like, you just can't win. The other option is to sacrifice like a week and fly there and basically go some crazy juju voodoo on trying to get all the repairs done, instead of like enjoying time out there. But I have some things, like the time to do it would either be right before April, or the time to do it would be this year. But I have things that are happening in the background that I'm not at liberty to discuss here. All will be revealed in due time. So if all of that pans out and works out and all these other things, I'm gonna be able to hopefully address all of this crap. I have a whole bunch of things swirling in my mind. I don't. Yeah. So right now I need to focus on the most immediate thing, which is going to Utah, dealing with all of this. Storage, by the way. So contextually, my whole brouhaha with Grand Junction, Colorado was based out of, okay, there's more airplanes that go there, so there's more airlines that go there, there's more stores in Grand Junction, and this and that and the third. What I didn't anticipate with all of that is the additional cost of driving from Moab to Grand Junction, from Grand Junction to Moab, plus the darn thing is closed at like 5 o'clock, and that's summertime. Wintertime, and I have no idea when the wintertime is. Just crazy. So, I've had to, and if you followed the vlogs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I had to stay in hotels on the way there and on the way back. That's not okay, because it's an additional cost. It's an additional $100 each way. And so after crunching numbers and doing some math, I looked at all of this in totality, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not really gaining anything at all. Like, nothing. In fact, I'm actually spending even more money and, more importantly, time. navigating around all of this. Yeah, so there's that. What I would prefer is to be able to fly to Moab, catch Uber into my motorhome, kickstart it, and then, you know, go and drive and start, doing everything that I need to do. It's less of a wasted day, if anything. Now, believe it or not, the way I think there's only like 1 or 2 airlines that fly in to Moab per day, which means that it's gonna be roughly around 1 o'clock. Which means that by the time you get there, like I would still be leaving in the morning, flying across the country, da 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 da. By the time you get Uber to town, to where my storage is for both the Jeep and the motorhome, you have to grab them and then figure out a way how to go to town, maybe like in a Jeep first, to stock up on food, and then, I don't know, whatever. So here's another thing that I've discovered about that. The benefit is just logistically easier and far less money being spent. Certainly on fuel, certainly adding additional mileage. I'm also given a very deep thought about what's happening with the actual motorhome. It's an additional expense, it's an additional vehicle, and all of these other things. But at the same token, like if I downgrade to a trailer, that solves some problems but introduces a whole bunch more other problems. And so I've been kind of thinking about all of this, like long term, about what it is that I want to do. But I'm just gonna leave that one open ended for time being. What I have discovered in just by looking at maps and trying to think about what I'm gonna be doing next year is that the distance between Bryce Canyon and Moab is so far. It is just insane. Territorially, Escalante is about 220 miles away from Moab, and that is far. That is like really far. It's 220 miles each way, so that's like 440 right there. That's a lot of driving. So next year, I think what I'll be doing is I'll be aggregating like certain zones, and I think what I'll do is I'll start with the furthest one, which would be Escalante, doing whatever I need to do there. And for all the consequent trips, they're gonna be shorter because they're gonna be much closer to Moab. So there's that. And then I think what I'll do is at some point I will have to move out of Moab. Potentially storing it in like not Grand Junction, St. George or something like of the sort. It's also possible that after the next year I may actually bring the RV back. I don't know. One thing I really don't want to do, and I think I'm starting to realize this now, a lot more than I was in May. So this is stupid mosquitoes. May, June, July, August, and now September. So that's 5 months. My whole philosophy and thoughts about this whole thing have changed quite drastically. As I'm approaching my third visit to Utah, what I don't want to do is I don't want to be oversaturating enjoyment either. So that's something for me to think about over the next, I guess, 7 months until April, or however long that takes. A lot on my mind. So here's what I'm doing in the interim. My hikes will be, the first one is in Castle Valley to the Castleton Tower. After that, I need to start working on projects. The second hike, it is one of the Pritchett hikes to a place called Halls Bridge, and I'm gonna be hitting kind of like a side canyon on the way back. If I'm lucky and if I could figure out a way how to safely navigate to top of the Halls Bridge, if you walk around it, there's a way to look at the arch from a completely different vantage point. I've been watching this YouTube channel called Carl Decker Presents. So he and his hiking buddy, kind of like did all of that. After that, it's the Gold Bar / Jeep Arch area, but on the other side of the canyon. There's a lot of social trails in there, and I think that would be a really cool place to be. And then I have Hunter Canyon, top, eventually leading into the Pritchett Arch, the Commons Arch, and the, is that what it's called, Commons Arch? Wigwam, like those things over there. And then I'm gonna have 2 more hikes in Pritchett. That would be a whole bunch of fins. That's hike number 1. And the other one has 2 arches in it. Dragon's Eye and something else. So it's normally, like, if you do the whole rappel and whatever, I am not a canyoneer, so don't expect me to even. So I'm just doing this on my feet, that way on the top, and then all the way back. So between all of that, I should be at my 6 hikes. I am starting to realize I may have overdone my whole hiking shtick. If you've been following me in 2021, with me having broken my foot right before the trip, I spent vast majority of my time just overlanding / off-roading, kind of like at one with the universe in the vehicle, and just doing all of that. I did some hikes, once I felt better. But I didn't do this kind of hiking where it was like every single day. I felt it didn't help any that on my previous trip, I very seriously got hurt on the very first day of hiking, on the very first hike. And I had to tough out with 2 knee braces entirety of the trip. So it was hot as hell, and I was hurt. So this time I'm actually doing something different. I'm taking my whole thing completely different. I'm pursuing nutrition and pursuing supplements. I am trying LMNT, something I have never added any supplement whatsoever. Like, I've always just drank water while hiking, and upon coming back, it's a bottle of Gatorade. So LMNT is like a packet that you mix with water. And so that gives you like all the electrolytes and all the salts and whatever. I'm also going to be taking GU Gel, which is what they recommend, like, before you start doing anything crazy, like a climb or something like that. And it kicks in within like 15 minutes to half an hour, and then it lasts for like 30 minutes, but it gives you one hell of a kick in the teeth kind of thing to keep going. I'm also going to do the protein milkshake at the end of the hikes, which is made by like Fairlife, one of those things. And also tart cherry juice. Apparently that helps with recovery and all that stuff. So I'm gonna see how that impacts my ability to recoup. Because like while I enjoy hiking, it takes a lot out of you. And I don't want to like regret going through all of this so that it hurts and it's uncomfortable, and like I want to be happy when I'm hiking, and I want to be happy when I go there. Like I don't want it to be a bother. So and this year I've done nothing but hikes. So like I've done, the only time when I did any kind of off-road this year was when I was in Eye of the Whale going to the Tower Arch. That was literally the only time when I did anything off-road. Everything else was on asphalt. Well, actually, I lie. There was this thing on the other side of Lonesome campground thing. Yeah, so that, well, but I kind of got myself into it without realizing how difficult it was. But still, that wasn't like a plan per se. It was more like a spur of the moment thing. It's been one hell of a year. One hell of a year. And it's not over. I have things that are planned. After I come back, there's things that are going to hopefully happen, which will hopefully pave way to certain things. And if all of that pans out, then I will very seriously consider doing something with my RV situation. So it may all change before April, maybe not, who knows. Yeah. So right now, with everything packed, everything planned, everything sometime at 3 o'clock this morning, I'm gonna be waking up and embarking on my cross the country trip. It's been one hell of a year. Thank you for following me.